Hotline 024 is one of my favorite mods that were ever released. Having started out as a small FNF mod for a jam, it has managed to go quite far with its own style that makes it really enjoyable to play. And it does one thing that makes it stand out from the rest. It branches out into a hidden storyline called Sunset Hills that you find through a code on a level and then into the game files, which lead you to a rabbit hole of images and YouTube videos that tell the lore of the characters, all in ARG fashion. It's really good, but the story hasn't been clearly defined yet, and most of the videos about it don't really go into the details. So I figured I could do one covering the whole story. If you haven't seen it yet, I would suggest you watch them first by yourself, even if some of the videos aren't directly available anymore. Either way, I'll be reviewing each one and try to piece everything together as best as I can. So, without further ado, let's get to the hidden lore of this mod, shall we? On the very first version of the F3 demo, there was very little info of the mod to work with. Just a basic plot and a little bit of backstory on the main character, Niku, telling that she was an extraterrestrial being that crash-landed on Earth and escaped from a group that tried experimenting on her. But now we know that she comes from a species called Polygirians, and might be one of the last ones remaining. Ever since the release of the Medley update in 2022, the whole game went through a massive overhaul that also brought more clues as to what is the origin of Niku and what happened to her family. To begin with, there's a part in the game where you get a keypad, and you put codes on it to find Easter eggs or secret songs. When they show you the codes, there's a secret one in the middle, and if you type it on the keypad, it shows this image that invites you to look in the game files. In the assets file, you can find a folder called Archive Sunset Hills under the blind eye, along with a hidden one called The Truth is Always Hidden. The folders contain different images along with some unknown messages, one of them from a certain YM. The other one has a line of text in the bottom that appears to be a YouTube video link, that when pasted on a search bar leads you to the following video. A young Niku and her mother spend some time talking about the beautiful day that they're having. The conversation soon starts drifting to how the god that they believe in created everything, with the mother mentioning some sacred texts that explain her people's religion. The video takes a sudden dark turn once Niku asks the following question. The mother doesn't respond to her as cheerfully as she did at first. She gets into a more serious and condemning tone, telling her to not question what God does, as they created all of them with a purpose. By the end, Niku asks to bring someone else there next time. She never mentions her name, and when her mother asks, the video abruptly cuts. There is a link in the description to another, more unsettling video called Found, that shows a faint, distorted figure displaying some threatening messages right before a deformed face is revealed. This time, the description gives a link to an Imager page featuring a strange Polygirian character sitting in front of a monstrous, gaping mouth. The captions display 4 codes that, when input on the in-game keypad, show different images. The last code playing a secret song where you get to meet Niku's mother, Matsu, in which we see that, nearing the end, something strange happened to her. Possibly something related to the god she worships that was revealed to be false. For the time, that was all we had for lore pieces, and it was not until a couple of months later that the creator, Saruky, posted 4 videos on YouTube that revealed more about the story in a found footage, analog horror style. They're unlisted as of now, but the links to them can be found through brightening the secret images in the assets folder. The first of them gives us a look into Niku's family when she was a child. Taking place in Anaglyphos 2013, we see Niku in her house trying to speak to her mother, who seems to be acting strange. Looking for her, she goes to her father's room and finds her like this. Right after that, it changes to her talking to a shadowed figure. Only their eyes are visible as they're speaking, and the room seems to be abnormally dark. Until, all of a sudden, the video gets interrupted by sudden lines of text, seemingly from a group of people telling Niku that they will find her. Precisely this part drives the point home, that the whole video was Niku trying to remember her past, and possibly whoever she's running away from now has altered her memory somehow, be it the group that experimented on her or the cult that her mother is part of. The video ends with a message saying that quote-unquote he is approaching. The next video seems to be a transmission of some sort, possibly a telepathic communication, since yes, Niku's species does communicate telepathically. An unknown signal talks to Niku and tries to get her to remember what she forgot about her past and what happened to her. It paints a vague image of what happened to the rest of the Polygurian species, the group that's trying to find her, and her relationship with the rest of her family. The final text warns us to beware of the fake moon. The good luck Niku message confirms to us that the person who did this is talking to Niku herself. Prophecy tells us a bit more about the religion of the Polygurians and the creation of their universe. At the beginning of everything, there was an entity that created the whole universe upon waking up. This entity is supposed to be the perfect god that the Polygurians believe in, but this video brings to light one more thing worth noting. Remember the ancient texts Niku's mother mentioned in the very first video? Turns out, a new entity came from the void, made out of every single negative emotion.
He didn't know who he was. One or who created him, but he knew he had a purpose.
The other entity's name is revealed to be Asmodee, portrayed in the image of the moon. The video abruptly ends soon after. The final video, Lies, is almost a short film of its own. This one focuses more on the characters' lives and personalities, and reveals the most things about them. We get to see Matsu working as a priestess, giving a sermon with her daughters. It is also officially revealed to us for the first time that Niku has a sister, Yoki, who apparently isn't feeling well. The video changes its focus to Yoki's perspective and her relevance to the story. When she falls asleep, she enters a realm called Dreamfield, where she gets chased by a dead reflection of her and appears to have a vision of the ancient texts. One where her sister Niku seems to appear in them. Then the video cuts and turns red, displaying some distorted imagery and empty landscapes. And it all seemingly ends when she is woken up by her mother. And that's the last of the 4 videos. So what more does this tell us about the story? Well, first of all, we can guess who wrote the note on the game files, as well as who are the people in the hidden images. Taking a look at the initials YM and looking for the only blurred out name in the videos, later revealed to be Yoki, it's the only one that fits the initials on the note. In the keypad, one of the secret codes revealed a family picture, in which we can see Matsu, the 2 daughters slightly out of frame, and one other figure. This seems to be their father, and the person who appears in the other hidden image. This would further confirm that Yoki is also the one who is trying to contact Niku through her telepathic messages in the Signals video. The secret videos also shed more light on who Matsu is as a character. We know from the mother clip that she's religious and a little too strict, and shows great devotion to her god. But there are many other things that show us there's a bit more to her than that. In Lies, when everything turns red, some lines of text show up, ordering to find and follow someone, and it appears to be talking to Matsu. Across the story, Matsu is seen with a distorted appearance and acting strange in many instances. This could confirm that she's being brainwashed or controlled by another entity, and it might be leading the group that's persecuting Niku. And finally, gathering more information about their religion, we can come up with a basic plot of the story. The entity at the beginning created both the universe and possibly the fake god known as Asmodee, with her mother Matsu being some sort of religious leader. The god she worshipped, however, wasn't the right one and started to take over her. This led to her acting strange and causing some family problems in their home and later in their life, which led to the disappearance of her husband, potential death of Yoki, and Niku leaving her home planet and crash landing on Earth, resulting in her forgetting some of her past. Matsu has been fully controlled by Asmodee, who started to manifest himself through a broadcasting station on Earth. Years later, the organization keeps looking for Niku to experiment on her, and she remains hiding, as she keeps trying to remember and bring her memories back. And that's about all of the story that's been revealed to us so far. There are some discrepancies about the lore, so don't really take all of what I said as the absolute truth. This is nowhere near the end of the story. Just now there was an official video about another storyline and it looks really promising. So I guess we'll just have to wait for further information about the rest of the story. The Sunset Hills lore, along with the rest of Hotline 024, despite just having originated as a mod of a game, is something I still look forward to and hope we get more of in the future.